Hello there, and welcome to Nerd Virgin. I'm Alicia,
And I'm Greg.
and today is episode 3. We're going to bring you episode 3, except we also had a lost episode.
We fucked up.
We did. But this is a good one. It's still good, even though I'm hostile in most of it. And we say things like again, and I get yelled at for saying again. But it's a good one because I watched A New Hope. So enjoy, like, follow, comment, share, and here is episode 3.
May the force
I'm
be
not-
with
No.
No? I'm not saying that.
No.
Again? All right. Enjoy. And welcome back to episode 3. I say back because we just recorded and didn't actually record it.
Woo!
We
The lost
fucked up.
episode. The lost
Start a podcast, they said.
Yeah.
It'll be fun.
Mm.
All right, so welcome.
Conversation part. Duh.
Yeah, welcome to Nerd Virgin, episode 3.
Yeah. Yep.
We are the nerds you're looking for.
We are.
Alicia just watched A New Hope.
And we just talked about
We just
A
talked
New
about
Hope.
it for over an hour, and we get to talk about it again.
But we're recording this time, so we're gonna
Yeah,
chat.
fuck me. Fuck.
All right, so episode 4, A New Hope.
What was it for? New Hope.
And it started with I disclaimed that I watched not the original theatrical release, but I watched the Disney edited release because I have Disney Plus, thankfully. And it says, as the description, when you pull it up, a young farm boy intercepts a distress call from the captive Princess Leia. And I found out the spelling of her name. But it was done by 20th Century Fox.
Correct.
And then it says Lucasfilms, but I'm watching it on Disney Plus. So that just
Lucasfilm.
film.
Singular.
Lucasfilm.
Yeah.
Oh, even though there's several films.
But no, that's the name
Is that
of
like
the
Nerd
company.
Virgin versus Nerd Virgins?
No, it's like that's the name of the company.
Got it. Right, like the name
Stop
of our
yelling at me.
podcast.
Alicia's all hot and bothered. It didn't
well,
record.
'cause
I'm more relaxed.
You press the setting. Rebels
I didn't press the
versus
setting.
Empire. So the scroll. We talk about the scroll, the intro, which is needed
Yes.
because
Opening crawl.
Yeah, crawl.
Opening crawl, which was obviously needed.
Yeah, because you
Because we're
start
jumping
at
in.
the 4th chunk of history
Yeah,
in
but
this fight.
it does the film a service where it
I'm
doesn't
interested-
doesn't have to baby you into who.
And he was obviously the first person to do this.
that I know of.
I
yeah.
wonder why he decided that was the way to do it. Like it's crawling away
crawl?
from you. Yeah.
It's just wasted dialogue otherwise,
I
right?
guess, yeah. Like you'd need like a narrator or something.
Ooh, there's a narrator and other stuff. Good comment.
That's weird. All right, so we know that it's Rebels versus the Empire. The Death Star is the Empire's megaship. The Rebels stole
I don't want to.
plans.
Sorry. I don't want to jump this. You got John Williams to the face.
Yes, I did. Even though I was correct, and I'm still going to play my Casio keyboard version for you. Leia has the plans at the start.
It's gonna be a testy episode. I don't like it.
It is. We're already starting
I was
off
right with no context.
angry.
She does doop 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 doop. She puts extra notes in the Star Wars name. That's what she meant.
Go back and listen.
I didn't hit the
This
setting.
is going to be our first official argument. R2-D2 is a smaller guy, and C-3PO is the gold one on Leia's ship.
Now, what
They were with her.
you didn't know which one was which,
No, I didn't know which
but
one.
you knew the names.
I knew both of them were robots, yeah. Or droids, sorry. They're not robots. The stormtroopers board her ship, enter Darth Vader with emphysema,
Breathing apparatus.
and his mask is pretty bad. Like their costume designer
You're
probably...
in the minority with that.
Look at it up close.
No, but it does change.
As
it gets an upgrade.
I'm sure it does,
Slightly.
because it looks pretty crappy. It looks like you bought it at Spirit Halloween.
A lot of people do.
I know they do. They buy the crappy one. Enter Darth Vader, though. We get to meet Darth Vader. Leia records the message, and I only know that because I now have seen the movie, but also I knew that watching it this first time because that's a pretty iconic thing. Like, Obi-Wan, You're the only one. You're my only hope, or whatever she
Yes,
says.
title of the movie.
Yes. No, it's A New Hope.
No,
Not
but
you're my new
I
hope.
mean, hope is in the title.
Okay.
Oh, put on the gloves.
She's on. Vader grabs her, stormtroopers grab her, and he's like, "Rah, rah, rah," and she's like, I'm a member of the Imperial Senate on a diplomatic mission to Alder-GONE, which I had to define, which we'll get to.
But is she?
But she's a spy, and Darth Vader calls her on her shit. He's like,
She's
"No,
part
you
of the
ain't,
Rebel
lady.
Alliance and a
No,
traitor
you ain't." Yeah, traitor to what though? See, because here
to the Empire.
they don't explain that that's the ultimate, like they're Great Britain, and the rebels are America.
Empire is the Empire. They pretty much rule.
For how many centuries previous?
No, it like just started.
That's what I'm saying. So they're
But
technically the
but
rebels.
They consume all of it in leadership, and
Okay.
that's
Anyway.
the thing. That's
Okay,
she's a
so they're not
traitor
Great
to the
Britain.
Empire.
Got it. Vader's mask is ghetto, I wrote. She's the link to finding their secret base, though. So Vader says, like, don't harm her because she's going to be where we find the rebel base.
He's assuming that
Yeah.
they're transmitting this
Yes.
message.
Got it.
from
Of
the
their
sh- from
whole,
the ship.
of like, and they don't want them to find weakness in their mega ship. So
Ultimately,
she sends the plans down to a planet that I later found out was Tatooine
Sand planet.
with R2D2. It's on an escape pod.
Yes,
And
no
they
life
know
forms.
that. They know that they
No
sent
life
that.
forms on board, so they just let it go.
Yeah.
Otherwise,
that makes sense.
they'd blow it to bits.
That makes sense. Okay. And I asked you, where did they film the sand dune scenes?
And I know the Two Suns is a real life optical illusion
That's so cool.
in Tunisia.
Tunisia.
So Tatooine, Tunisia, at least where you see the Two Suns.
Okay.
I'm assuming that's where the sand was. Can't be positive. And a lot of people were hurt that the ISIS war and all that fighting bled into the set where they filmed.
Because again,
Tatooine.
that's what they should be worried
Not
about.
again, because no one's going to hear our original recording. Not again.
The lost
And that's
episode.
not what I'm saying. I'm just
But-
saying that sucks when
It sucks when people are killed
when war
and their
hits
blood is
more
on the set of Star Wars.
when
It's
war
so
hits
evil
more
of them.
than
Ugh.
than
War hits war. Get
than
it?
it does already.
War
Tragically.
hits Star Wars.
War hits Star Wars.
The people are get your blood off of our set.
Yeah, fuck you. Only only a certain aunt and uncle
So
should have
fuck-
died there.
Okay.
No more bloodshed on Tatooine.
There's so many parallels.
Fuck
There's
you,
so,
ISIS.
and there's so many parallels. You picked up on that one, but there's a lot of parallels in this movie to Harry Potter that I can't tell you because they will spoil
Yeah,
a lot. But I'm going to keep
spoilers.
note of them, and we'll refer back to them later.
Dorsleys. But we're getting to them.
They're the Dursleys.
Whatever.
R2D2 and C3PO split up because R2D2 is like, fuck you, I got a mission. And C3PO is like, I'm not going over the rocks. I'm
Right.
gold.
You learn pretty damn quickly that they are not
Similar.
similar.
Yeah, no, for sure not. But they're biffers.
Yeah.
Creepy-headed guys steal and shock R2D2 and bring him to their creepy ship of junk with other droids. And a garbage can and Wally make an appearance. Because there's a garbage can droid. But C-3PO is in there too, so reunited.
Yep.
And it feels so good. The creature...
Some droids getting tortured on that sand crawler.
The creature that the stormtroopers were on is a new computer
That CGI.
imagination.
I don't remember the name.
Okay. But I
We
think...
talked about this in the Lost
I
episode.
know, but there's
we now have a
not-
Lost episode.
I know we do.
Fucking cool.
Oh shit, it's Luke. Luke is with his uncle, Owen, who's a farmer. And I said again, where did they film this? Because it's gorgeous. And I want to know, I want to look into the backstory. Did they actually dig out that hole? Or was that like, they just show you a little bit of a hole? They dug like 6 feet and then it's a soundstage. Because it's gorgeous.
My assumption is,
They dug 6 feet and then...
yeah.
Okay, so they need a binary evaporator and they need something that speaks Bocce.
Yeah, need a translating droid.
Bocce. And C-3PO announces that they are a protocol bot, a human cyborg relations bot. And I wrote planet is ? 2 moons, but you again explained that that's Tatooine. So Luke gets Leia's message, or at least an abbreviated version of Leia's message, that their last master was Captain Artillus, but you said that doesn't really come back.
It's
now.
not important.
Okay. I wrote down everything.
No, I'm
There's a lot of things that you don't even...
I'm glad you
they're
did.
not even said, and you're like, what's this definition? And it's not even...
Well, again, I'm reading a book. You're watching a movie. I'm
So
gonna
then they talk
explain
about
shit.
Old Ben.
Old Ben.
Old Greg. Blue Milk. Blue Milk makes an appearance.
Yes.
I'm telling you, I love the world building and the interiors. You get to see Luke's aunt and uncle's place, which again later is blown up. I'm gotta stop saying it again. It's blown up later, but
They are.
they are. They're cooked. I wanted to talk about her cooking though. It's really
Literally, her
cool.
corpse?
Yeah, no, her. It's cool that she's cooking. You get to see her like breaking up some question mark vegetable, space carrot, and she's dropping it into a pot. But in the background, I was paying attention to so much of the background because it really is a very 70s futuristic aesthetic that's bled into other series for sure. Like that definitely had influence. I'd wonder who did set design. I'd really be interested in reading about that, learning about that.
Set Midler. I think her name was Set Midler.
Okay. R2D2 escapes though, because again, he's like, I got stuff to do, bro.
Yes,
And
but
they go
before that,
out-
we get a beautiful scene. Luke, his uncle doesn't want him to go. He
yeah,
has to stay another harvest. He goes, sees
And he's
the
like, I don't
two-
want you to be your
sees the
dad.
two sons. His fucking theme comes, which is amazing.
That's his theme.
Yeah, yeah.
Dun,
They all
dun,
every like
dun,
main
dun,
character pretty much has their own
dun,
theme.
dun,
Thanks to-
dun, dun, dun.
thanks to
That's
J
Luke.
Dub,
That's Luke.
pretty much. Yeah,
Cool.
that's his name.
I like Go out. So wait, but he also says, I want to go do hood rat shit with my friends, and he's like, no,
Tashi Station for power converters.
sure. And
Fuck
he's like,
yes.
but no, you have to help me with the harvest. Which again, they're not harvesting anything on the surface of that planet, so we assume it's
Yeah.
all like hydroponic question mark carrots.
He
space
doesn't.
carrots.
He doesn't like hearing the name. Uncle Owen doesn't like hearing the name Kenobi. He wants.
Okay, because he assumes it's probably the reason his dad died. Question mark, question mark, question mark. Okay, sand people, they sound like a dolphin and an ape crossed together. Like they're, I want
that's
to
by
know their
design.
sound effect. But the weird horned creatures,
Bantha,
okay.
which are elephants covered in hair. Face.
I'd love to see the original version of that because I did not. I watched the Disney version. R2 is looking for Obi-Wan. And woo! Obi-Wan scares off the sand people. Ben Kenobi.
Good old Ben.
It's just awkward because, again, in pop culture, you know him as Obi-Wan.
Yeah.
But Ben Kenobi? I'm trying to think of it'd be like Barack Obama being called like Chris Obama. Like it's just weird to hear Ben
I like how you just
Kenobi.
made Obama a force wheel.
Okay. Fight. He talks to him about his dad.
Yes.
He's hanging out and he's like, yeah, we fought in the wars together. He was a navigator. Oh, no, he says, my dad was a navigator on a spice ship or something. And he goes, no, he was the best damn star pilot in the galaxy.
Jedi Knight.
He gives Luke his lightsaber, which is a parallel to
This whole scene is.
Dumbledore.
This whole scene has parallels because when Harry learns about his mom and dad finally being wizard witch.
It's very early on in the story, though. Dumbledore doesn't talk to him really. Well, actually, because he doesn't know that the cloak is from Dumbledore at first, does he? Does he say it's
Not
from him?
no.
No, he just
think
knows that
that's-
he acquires it.
When he's in the mirror. But anyway, let's get
Yeah,
back
okay.
to the better
All right.
series.
Oh, God. Parallel.
Better original.
So many parallels.
More original story.
Okay,
The first one that came first.
I can't. Lightsaber
Yes,
is a
hands
weapon.
in his lightsaber.
Weapon of a Jedi Knight.
Hands of his
Which
father's lightsaber.
also looks like it was
Oh, it's beautiful.
enhanced.
Oh, I thought you meant the actual metal part. Sorry.
Oh, I'm sure that's gorgeous. Very like another phallic, magical.
Holding the metal dick.
Okay, before the dark times, before the Empire, is something he says. But Darth Vader helped the Empire to find and destroy the Jedi. So Vader was seduced by the dark side of the Force.
Yes.
I'm gonna put a pin in that though, because I don't want to ruin for you the parallel that draws to Voldemort. But it sounds very much like that. And I'm gonna go
Just
into.
put the fucking pin in.
I'm gonna go into something though that I want to note now. Somebody sent me a video recently, and it was about good versus evil, and how good versus evil. A lot of people, both in history and in fiction, start from some kind of traumatic or life-affecting experience that they then take, and they either turn that experience into something that will drive them to say, fuck the world, I'm going to fuck everybody because I was fucked, or I'm going to use this to make sure that this doesn't happen to anybody else ever again. And I think that this is very much going to be a theme moving forward. Like, I think something is going to happen. I mean, again, knowing what I have known from pop culture and references and things like that, I know that
Hayden
Hayden
Christensen.
Christensen. I want to say Hans Christian Andersen. That's what I want to say every time. Hans Christian Andersen. He plays the guy who eventually becomes Vader.
Plays Anakin.
Yes,
I'll
and
give
him,
you the name. I don't
him
think it's
and
meant
Portman, and I'm putting my finger over my lips again for her lipstick. They have the twins that we meet this movie, which is Luke and Leia. And again, I haven't seen it. I just know. But he was seduced by the dark side of the Force. So he originally started with this religion of the Force. The Force is something that is power harnessed by the Jedi. It's from all around us.
I stopped her. I held my hand up like a power. It was a power move. But no. So what you said was the good and bad, the
Yeah.
usual elements of that story.
Yeah.
Is the world owes me something,
Yes.
and the other one was
I'm going to prevent this from happening to anybody else.
right.
I'm going to help.
I'll just say that maybe people think they're doing good with
Oh, for sure.
with
Again,
collecting
another
more power.
parallel. the greater good.
Also, maybe people want
HP
more.
fans.
Maybe people just want more power.
For the greater good.
Maybe for themselves, but they're not so direct and sinister with their power. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yep.
There's more ways. There's
Yep.
multiple ways to skin a cat. I love the cat. Shout out.
To old Dumby and Grindelwald. We'll get to that. Okay.
Who did what now?
Yeah, exactly. Leia's dad is in Alder-GONE, which again is that word that I had to define. And last time I defined it as a planet or location where they all have to go to train or learn the Force. And Yoda's from there. Okay, so I wasn't completely wrong there. It is a planet.
Oh, you were
A
completely wrong.
main character is from there, but it was not Yoda, and they don't go anywhere because Alder-GONE happens
Yeah.
in
R.I.P.
this movie.
R.I.P. Yo.
There is no Alderaan after this, but her dad is there, and she is from there. And Obi-Wan says that he fought with her dad in the Clone Wars. He recruits Luke. He says, "Let's go. Let's do this." And he's like, "Nah, I got space carrots to harvest." And you can go to Mos Eisley or wherever you're going. That's what he says. Another word I had to define, which we'll get to when we actually go there. But we cut to the meeting of the Empire assholes. This like round table of
Grand Moff Tarkin. Amazing voice.
Grand Muffy Muffton.
Great character.
But this station, aka I assume the Death Star, is the ultimate power in the universe. And they're talking about how they're amazing and they're waving their dicks around that because they're so powerful. But Vader comes in and he's like, the power to destroy a planet is nothing in comparison to the Force. But one of the guys makes fun of his sorcery shit. And he's like, oh, yeah, cool. I'm just going to fucking chokehold you. You want to call this sorcery? How about breathing? Let's see what I can do to your larynx right
Amazing move.
Mm-hmm. But he listens to Marf Darf.
Yes. Tarkin says release him, and he does.
And he does. So he's not the head honcho, which I thought was the thing. I thought he was the leader.
Tarkin is in
leader
control.
of the pack.
Tarkin
I
is
thought
in
he was
control
the
on
leader.
Death Star.
Okay. So enter Jawas, which was a word I had to define. They are the sellers of the droids. So they go back to their ship and they're like destroyed, and everything is destroyed because they're trying to find who we know to be R2D2.
Stormtroopers made it look like it was the Sand People.
Oh, but it was not.
They tried to disguise their tracks. They left Sand People weapons.
Interesting.
But
But
sand people don't have blasters.
Sandpaper.
Sandpaper doesn't have blasters on Tatooine.
Let's pause this moment because I want to go back into the importance of this moment and just talk about my definition of Jawa. I said it was a creature or a loyal sidekick. And I actually said that Mos Eisley was a person that was a seller of droids. But that's the one that you said I actually got one right, but for the wrong word.
Yeah.
So the Jawas are the seller of droids. They kind of steal them, though. They're another.
They're scrappers. If
Yeah.
they see you and they can take
Yeah.
you, they're going to take you.
Yeah, they're creepy with their little light up eyes.
They're a little nifty bunch.
So I was wrong with that they were a creature. They are a creature, but they're not a loyal sidekick. They're loyal to only their motivation, which
great
is
little
buying and
characters.
selling. Buy, sell. So Luke goes and he discovers that his home is exploded, gone, toasted, roasted. Aunt and uncle, I was sitting there going, maybe they're not dead. And nope, they're very, very clearly dead.
Yeah, they're.
It is smoke and bones.
Well
that
done.
Is all that is left for them. So he goes, all right, I'll come with you. And they go to Mos Eisley, which
True orphan.
I had. Well, he was an orphan before.
Well, yeah, I guess.
He was living with his aunt and uncle.
Yeah.
Still an orphan. Mos Eisley I defined as a person, seller of droids. Nope, it is a spaceport.
Yes.
Quote, filled with scum. And Obi-Wan drives on in, which I love the floating vehicle. I want to know how they did that in the 70s. It's pretty badass.
Sand cruiser.
It's so cool.
Yeah.
And that's where Luke gets his ability to pilot.
He learned on those things, and you learn
pilots
later on in
later.
the movie. You learn later on in the movie that he was doing that the whole time.
He was learning how to fly.
Flying,
Is that
around.
scene that's okay?
Yeah,
We'll get to
it.
it. But he can mind control stormtroopers. The Force can
Obi-Wan
have
can.
influence on the
Obi-Wan.
weak-minded. Yes.
Not Luke.
Oh, no, Obi-Wan can. But I thought that was a little weird because the stormtroopers just seem kind of dumb here. They just seem like dumb officers, if you will. They're like he's literally repeating everything that Obi-Wan says. He's like, we're gonna keep going. He's like, they're gonna keep going. We're gonna let them go without. We're gonna let them. Nobody else.
Jedi mind trick.
Nobody else.
It only takes one.
Okay, so Jedi mind trick is another parallel that I'm gonna hold on to because I don't want to ruin things for
Hold
you
on
later.
to that. Never let it go.
No, I'm keeping a list of parallels that will ruin things for you now, but you'll get them later.
Yeah, no spoilers.
Okay. Cut to what I thought was Olga's Cantina, but I don't know. Olga's is probably just the name of it in the
No.
Disney park.
Again,
But it's a cantina.
haven't been to Disney yet. If anyone wants to,
Please
send
fund us.
Yeah.
Someone send us. Someone
Like us.
pay for our trip.
Yeah, but I'm going to assume
Like me.
I'm going to assume that Olga is not on Tatooine. That
OGA, Olga.
Olga. Okay.
Olga's Cantina. Yeah.
Again, haven't been there. I'm going to assume that that's not on Tatooine.
Okay.
Wherever Galaxy's Edge is located.
Okay.
I hope it's not on Tatooine. Also.
Okay. But Bart, iconic music.
Yes.
And they don't serve droids alcohol. They're like, we don't like your kind.
No.
They don't like.
And if you notice, if you watch again, what they're serving the liquid out of, all those the pipes and metal things behind the bartender, there are one of
Taps.
the taps, I guess. Yes, they're made out of a certain type of droid's head.
That's so fucked up.
I don't like droids. So.
It's like, we don't like you, so we're just going to serve alcohol through your mouth hole. Or eye hole or
justice
ear.
for droids.
Messed up. Obi-Wan is talking to Chewbacca. Enter Chewbacca, the first mate on a ship that may suit them. And it is based on...
Oh, he's designed after George Lucas's real life dog.
So cute. I want to know if his name is Chewie.
Loyal companion to.
I want to know the name
The
origin.
cool.
Side.
The cool character.
Which again, he's wearing bullets.
Not again. Stop saying again.
Okay, he's wearing bullets. I found a plot hole. He's wearing bullets, but they use light guns.
Maybe
use light ray guns.
Maybe they're just shells.
It's not batteries.
Maybe
for what?
Shells. For
what? This is
heavy
supposed to be a
artillery.
long time ago. This is not like World War I artillery shells that he's wearing. He's wearing ammo to an unknown gun that they're not using.
Yet, or ever, or maybe.
They don't.
You don't know. You don't know shit.
Han Solo looking delish.
Snack? Full meal?
Meal. He's hot. He looks good. Even his hair. He looks good. He's a captain of the Millennium Falcon. He said he wants to avoid any Imperial entanglements, but he'll take us to Alder-GONE from Docking Bay 94.
Obi-Wan says that.
Take us to Alder-GONE.
Oh, no, Obi-Wan says he wants to avoid.
No, Han Solo says.
No, Han does. Your head was down writing it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, but yeah, and then Han says that's always the goal, isn't it?
Yeah,
And
okay.
that's why it's going to cost you.
Okay. Got it.
So he says.
Yeah, it's 17,000 units or whatever the
he
fuck
says
they
10.
say. Yes.
Luke flips his shit. Goes, we don't have to listen to this. Let's get out.
Yeah, he's like, we'll give you 2 now. We'll bring you there, and you'll get an additional 15.
Yeah, and he's like,
like
17. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. What are the units? What are they? Flarbies?
Credits.
Oh, okay.
I mean, different species have different.
Tell you.
Different species have different.
It's not like sickles
currencies,
and nuts and
It's just imperial
Coin?
credits at this point.
imperial coin.
Pretty much, yeah.
Han says, "Tell Jabba I have his money" to that guy. So okay, so there's a couple of things that happen. they use a lightsaber, cut off an arm. They're like, we don't.
I don't like you.
Don't. But the music just keeps going. They're like, that guy lost his arm. Oh well. Doot, doot,
Yeah,
doot,
they
doot,
probably
doot,
see it
doot.
all the time because
Yeah,
it's all scum.
Because it's a shady ass bar. And then, but they like leave because stormtroopers are coming for them. And then we cut to
Oh.
Han Solo talking to somebody
Funny
who's
thing.
a green guy.
Can we talk about one funny thing about that? All of that.
Sure.
Who are the most important people on Tatooine, or what's the most important thing on Tatooine at this time in the movie?
Obi-Wan and R2-D2.
R2D2, and they just leave him outside.
I didn't even think about
Luke's
that.
like,
yeah.
it looks like, hey, just hang outside. We don't want trouble.
Yeah.
He's like, all right, the stormtroopers outside. They're looking for R2.
Yeah, and
So I thought that
Jawas
was- I
and
thought
a
that was
bunch
funny.
of other. That's actually really, that's hilarious.
But go on, sorry.
Then it's just Han sitting there, and he's like, "Tell Jabba I have his money." To that guy who,
Greedo.
which we don't know that he doesn't say that. Does he say that?
He's Greedo, yeah.
Does he say Greedo?
Yeah, he's a henchman for Jabba.
Jabba,
the
that
Hutt,
sounds right.
who we learn about.
Right, and then Han is like very casually got his arm up, and his other arm is below,
Too
trying to
cool.
get his gun. And
Greedo's telling him.
yeah, he goes to shoot him, and he shoots him instead. And now that's two lives that are lost in this bar due to our guys who are supposed to be the good guys. and then the stormtroopers are like, forget this, we're getting you guys.
Big thing with fanhood. Big debate is who shot first, because it's important character development thing for
he
Han.
did. Greiger.
So you think Greedo did?
Yes, I think he shot.
Might have been edited.
Sure.
Might have been edited for that purpose.
Han doesn't seem like the kind of guy who wants trouble. He just wants money, man.
All right.
He says it later. He's like, "What good is a bounty if you can't live to spend it?"
But wouldn't that serve to the point where he would shoot first?
Not
'cause
like he
wants to
doesn't
live?
want. He's like the guy. Like, bring the fight to me. I'm not gonna start the fight.
All right.
I'm not gonna start the fight. I just want to make money.
Han shot
bitches,
first.
make
I'm
money.
on Han shot first side.
Cut to Vader. He's got Leia, and she's resisting the mind probe, which is that creepy little floating circle thing with a needle on the end.
Little torture droid.
Again, another parallel we'll get to later to the Harry Potter series. Back to R2-D2 and the gang hiding from the stormtroopers. Jabba, I said, been redone in special effects for sure.
Yeah. Scene was recorded then.
Han's head is like floating behind him at one point.
Yeah.
It's like really choppy. Han is very clearly filmed in the 70s, and Jabba is very clearly like early 90s CGI. But we find out that he's a smuggler for Jabba.
Yes.
And then I put a star as a question. Jabba, you're a wonderful human being.
I think it's just a joke. It's
What
just,
is his species? Do you know?
He's a Hutt.
Jabba the Hutt.
Yeah.
Got it.
He's a Hutt.
He's a Hutt. So there's more Hutts.
Yeah.
We don't see them.
No. If we got to get there.
All right. Millennium Falcon. Luke says, "What a piece of junk."
Yeah. People throwing shade at his
Well,
ride.
it's supposed to be the fastest vehicle in the universe, and they pull up, and he's like, "Ugh, this thing's
I
filthy."
think it's great.
Chewie, get us out of here. I like that they call him Chewie.
Little nickname fan, are you?
Chewbacca. Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah. He's a great pilot himself.
What is Chewbacca?
He is a Wookiee,
A Wookiee.
which is said.
Later.
Yeah.
Okay. Back to the Death Star.
Actually, I believe Obi-Wan calls him Chewbacca the Wookiee when he's introducing him to Luke.
Oh, okay.
I believe.
Back to the Death Star, entered Alderaan space, Leia's home planet. She won't give up the rebel base, but then she eventually, when they say like, "Yeah, we're gonna explode your planet, bro. You better talk," she goes, "Okay, it's Dantooine."
Which
Dantooine.
is not a lie. It's just deserted. It's an old one.
An old one of their rebel.
Yes.
What? Okay, we'll go back. Well, I'll come back to that. She gave it up, and they still destroy Alderaan. Bye, Alder-GONE. See you later. So when
Beautiful planet. Look like Earth.
it did look like her.
Yeah.
This is when Obi-Wan feels this great disturbance in the
How'd
Force.
you feel about that?
I like it. I think that it's really neat that there's this larger power. It reminded me a lot of James Cameron, Blue Guys. Avatar, thank you. Like Awa, everything is connected. Everything that is powerful, everything that's part of this belief system, you connect your hair to the tree and you feel it all. So they feel when something is being destroyed in a negative way. So he's connected. I
It
like
hurts him. It
Yeah.
overwhelms me. I have to sit, and then he's like, "All right, continue your training."
Yeah, no, seriously.
Yeah.
Because then they're playing chess on the MF. I'm going to call Millennium Falcon, the MF, because that's pretty cool.
It's a bad motherfucker.
While Luke practices the Force, they're playing monster chess.
Which was one of my terms I gave you last week. Dejarik. They don't say it.
I
but
know.
That's what it
Why
is.
would you do that? Why would
Why
you?
not?
They don't say it.
But that's what it is, and you saw it, so I'm going to explain it to
No,
you.
but they don't say it. So how am I supposed to know that? You know wizard chess.
The wannabe Dejarik. But no, but
Ugh.
any
This is chess.
if I give
this
you
is
a term,
wannabe chess. Chess is a real thing.
Anywho, it's hollow chess, okay? Living pieces, not like the chamber thing, whatever. But no, if I give you a term, like I think that's a fun little thing. It
is fun.
It's a parallel.
It's fun.
It's a parallel to Harry
But
Potter.
how do you know that? How do you know that that's called that?
And that's why I'm
How?
co-hosting this podcast with you.
Okay, well,
But all right, going forward, maybe I won't do that.
yeah.
But
Let's
anyway,
do things
let's
that
not
I
get
can
hung up
actually
on
know.
that.
I was curious about the original effects there because it does look very much like that was done in the 70s. It reminds me a lot of the Disney park haunted house where you see the dancers dancing and it's just kind of like reflected onto a clear plate.
Haven't been on that ride since I was a little girl.
Since you were 8 and read the Harry Potter films? Read the Harry Potter
I read
films.
the films.
My
It was really hard to
brain
understand.
is so dead right now. But this is in the park. You get to ride, you get to go on the Millennium Falcon, and now I know because Matt made me take a picture of him at the chess table, and I was
Yeah,
like,
it's famous,
"Why? This
yeah.
is so stupid."
iconic.
But he made me take a picture of him sitting there,
I'm
and now I want
I'm
to
gonna guess that was claymation, all that.
something.
I don't
But
know.
it seems reflected.
A lot of
It seems
physical
very
effects.
holographic.
A lot of
to me.
physical
It's
effects
very-
with the ships.
Yeah, it's cool though.
Yeah.
I like that. That's like this little time passer as Luke is training. We're gonna get to him training not being a big thing that I liked this series because there's like nothing. This is all you see.
Just you.
But this is all you see, and then
He's
he
just
hones
learned.
in on.
He just learned about
But
the
he- but the-
Force. He just learned about his
Okay,
dad. I
but
know
like-
it's right. Listen, it's a
He's
2-hour
like,
movie.
okay, this is the first time you're picking up a lightsaber. You know how to wield it. Bullshit. This is also the first time that I'm going to train you with this little weird tennis ball that's going to float and shoot things at you. But close your eyes. Close your eyes and trust that it's not going to shoot you. You don't know anything about the Force, young boy, but harness it. Harness
Farm boy.
what?
Farm boy.
What did I say?
You said young boy. I'm just.
Whatever. He's young. He is young. Great quote from Obi-Wan here, though. In my experience, there's no such thing as luck. I love that. I love that.
Obi-Wan's pretty damn
That's
quotable.
really cool.
Obi-Wan and Han Solo are very quotable throughout.
Apparently, he's gone at the end of this movie, so there goes the quotes.
No, I'm saying he had some good gems in this.
We see the Imperial fighter ships here, which you inform me is a TIE fighter.
Yes. Enemy fighters, the TIE fighters, TIE.
They're very simple shapes, though, so I have a little drawing in my notes here because it's hard to decipher between the two of them when you're looking at them from the front. One's like an X and one's like a H.
Yeah.
They both
So
have a
the,
circle
the
in the
rebels
middle.
have the X-wing.
Yes.
And the Y-wing.
Yes. And the Y-wing,
The Y-wing is.
what it's
We'll
called.
get there. We'll get there.
Okay.
Yeah.
But the Death Star is pulling them in the the motherfucker.
Tractor beam.
Vader senses something here. So, cut back to the fact that his sorcery shit is something he still has in him and with him all the time. He senses that Obi-Wan is
Oh, so you
there.
think? What do you mean by that? You think
Remember,
that
he
the
was made
Force-
fun of. He was made fun of for like still believing in this sorcery shit. The guy said. Well, he didn't say shit. He said the sorcery. Your sorcery
Okay,
bullshit.
yeah,
And that's
yeah.
when he choked him. So he very obviously is still connected, and he's still using it. He's just using it for evil.
All right.
But he senses
See
Obi-Wan's
all that.
presence. So again, we're connected back to Awa, and he's like, "Oh, it's someone's near. Someone's here." Like he probably felt it when they killed Alder-GONE too. He probably was like, "Phew."
Well, you fucking.
He did it, but
Had a-
still, he
yeah.
probably felt it. No, he's part of the Force. He's destroying part of
There's
the.
always a disturbance,
Okay.
good or bad.
They
just
hide
deserves his
in
bad.
their smuggler compartments.
Yes.
They dress as stormtroopers to get in. R2D2 plugs into the ship.
Did you laugh when Chewie sticks his little head out at the end and gives a roar?
No,
No.
no.
Yeah.
But they get in, and R2D2 plugs into the ship, and he goes, "She's here." Obi-Wan goes off, and he's like, "The Force will be with you always. My fate is."
Luke
Separate
wants to
to
go with him
yours.
to
Yeah.
turn off the tractor beam, but Obi-Wan,
Says, "I've
Says
got
your
I've
fate-
got a different mission." Yeah,
your fate is different than mine.
I've got a different mission. So stay here. So Han Solo kicks his feet up, and he's like, "Cool, we're just gonna sit here until we can get out."
And then R2.
Yes, says I found her, and
Yes.
Luke's like, "We gotta help Leia. They're gonna kill her."
He's got a crush.
He hasn't seen her yet. Oh no, he's seen her in the hologram.
Yeah. Says she's beautiful.
Well, because she's the only girl he's ever fucking seen on that
Yeah.
dust planet with his friends and his space carrots. Obi-Wan and Vader are giving me Dumbledore Valdi vibes, but again, I don't want to destroy anything later, so we'll come back to that. But very similar. The guys with the big black Vader helmets are hilarious.
Yes.
It's very Spaceballs
In
style.
the prison communication
Yes.
center.
They are. I feel like somebody in the costume department ran out of money and went to IKEA, bought a wok, and flipped it over on the guy's heads because it's so big. Like at least Vader's mask juxtaposition to it like sets it off. These guys are like beep 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 with their big beetle heads.
Maybe they're so smart
Are they?
that they need to protect their brain.
No. They're just dumb and they need like an umbrella hat to protect them from all the light bullets. Okay. Luke, Solo, and Chewie fuck up a control panel by the cells of the prisoners. Very funny scene. Enters finally some comedic.
Finally?
There's not really a whole lot before now.
I mean, Han's lines were pretty good.
Yeah, but there's not a lot.
Everything R2,
This was
everything R2 does
but you don't understand it, so it's really C-3PO's response.
But it's R2's
Yeah, because he's like, no need to use that language.
Yeah, R2's the best.
But and I really liked when Solo was like, everything's all cool down here. It's all good.
How are you?
Yeah. He's like, who is this? He's like, sorry, there's stuff leaking around and I'll shoot it.
Yeah, boring conversation anyway. But that's one of my favorite scenes in the whole movie.
Yeah, I like that. It's right before one of my favorite scenes. Leia, Luke comes in to save her and she goes, aren't you a little short for a stormtrooper?
Yeah, and he looks at her like, fuck you.
Yeah, because you're my height because we're twins. Vader is all that is left of the Jedi religion. And I wrote minus Obi-Wan. That's noted, that Vader is all that's left of the Jedi religion. That's mentioned.
Tarkin's a little skeptical.
Yeah, he's like, screw this.
That Obi-Wan's on the fucking...
Yeah, they think that everything's gone.
Yeah.
Again, he lived this life as Ben Kenobi. He lived his life as Chris Obama on Tatooine.
Simpler life. As Chris.
Garbage monster, question mark, exclamation point, one-eye water creature.
Yes. That is the Dianaga.
Dianaga. And they come back?
Maybe.
Okay, well.
We got to get there.
They're very creepy. I wrote, did he use the force to get the monster off of him, or is it just the walls closing in and the monster was like, peace? And it's the walls closing in. But this is one of my favorite scenes. This is my favorite scene. The four of them sitting in that trash compactor. I think that there's a lot of character building. I think that there's a lot of like relationship building. Like Solo, I think, I don't know, but I think Solo and Leia wind up together. And I think that this is really funny because it starts off, he's like, get on top of the garbage. She's like, I'm trying. And he's like, get on top of the And Luke's over in the corner kind of panicking, trying to get in touch with C-3PO. And he's like, come on.
Turn the comlink off.
Yeah, and Chewie's just like bashing the door, like, get us out of here, get us out of here.
I love that scene too because it's finally they're together. They're not just sitting in a cockpit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love scenes like that in any series.
They're saved.
Yes, but that's fucking comedic. When 3PO thinks they're dying, they're screaming in joy.
Yeah. He's like,
oh,
we killed them.
Too late, they're dying.
They're dying, yeah.
I love that scene
Yeah.
too. That dialogue is amazing.
I wrote, what is Obi-Wan fucking with? But I know it's he's trying to mess so they can get out.
Yes, he's turning off the tractor beam so the MF,
Open.
the Falcon, can escape.
Yes. He's opening escape routes. I wrote that too. Why did the stormtroopers run? Oh, there's more of them. Because at first it's like there's 6 of you versus Chewie and Han, and they like run away after he shoots one light bullet, and you're like, what? And then they enter this area where it's like, oh,
turn the corner.
Crap.
Yeah.
The bridge was retracted. I'm assuming there's a lot of.
Luke shot the controls for the door. Which was also the controls for the bridge.
Okay.
So they're like,
whoops.
What are we doing here? And now troopers from above are
shooting at them. Kiss for luck, weird.
Yeah, whatever.
Your brother and sister.
Wasn't a makeout session.
It's still weird. I don't give my brother kisses. Obi-Wan versus Vader. Blue versus red. I thought green. I thought that you said that was a parallel in Harry Potter.
Did you like the...
lightsabers?
Did you like the scene where it's just Vader waiting for him? Lightsaber ignited already.
Oh, I didn't. He knew he was coming.
Huh?
He knew he was coming. Force.
Yeah. Stop putting your head down and writing. Pause the movie.
I know I do. I need to. Obi-Wan disappears.
Okay, so they fight. This draws the attention of the stormtroopers waiting by the Falcon.
Yes.
And they run over just in case Vader needs
Help.
whatever. Or maybe they're just distracted by a good old-fashioned lightsaber, which no one's seen with their own eyes.
Oh, so Darth Vader doesn't use that often. This is like the first time he's whipping it out again because it's a Jedi
the only,
weapon. Ah, okay.
As far as anyone knows,
Okay.
he's the only one with that weapon.
Got it. So previous to now, he was just using his chokehold from afar.
Yeah. Yeah, he had no reason to really light that thing up that we know about. So this gives a chance for the two droids, Han, Leia, Chewie, Luke, to run for it, get on the Falcon, wait for Ben. Even though I think Ben, he wasn't leaving that state. He wasn't.
No, he knew this was his suicide mission.
And then Luke notices, what's everyone looking at? And he goes, Ben? And then the duel, which...
Yeah, but like, okay, so the lightsaber doesn't kill him. He disappears. That was my interpretation of it because the lightsaber previously cuts people's arms off. So wouldn't it just slice him in half? So he doesn't strike him.
To me, it's and this can be debated for hours. To me, Ben clearly turns to Luke, smiles, gives himself up.
He like sacrifices himself.
Yeah.
Except he's not struck because if he was struck, there would be like a half body.
It was like a combination of a death blow plus giving himself to the Force for the greater good. But he told Vader, as they're about to fight in the scene prior, if you strike me down, I'll become stronger than you can even imagine.
So he's gonna...
Which leads to him being gone. Vader, just to make sure there was no funny business, steps on the cloak, takes his lightsaber. And then...
oh, I didn't get that.
And then Luke screams, and then he hears him talk to him.
Yeah.
Immediately after that scene.
Yeah.
And he's like, go, Luke.
Yeah. Like, make moves, bro.
Yeah.
Solo... oh, no. Okay, so they get to the Rebel base because they get out.
Yes. But little do they know there's a homing device on the Falcon now. So Vader knows...
yeah, I didn't catch
where
that.
they're going. They don't show it.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Because no one's in the Falcon for so long.
Got it.
Threw it on there.
R2 gives the Death Star info. They're on a moon. They're not even on a planet. They're on a
Yavin
moon of a planet.
Yavin 4 is a moon.
Yavin. But the Death Star approaches because they have a tracking device on it.
Now it's a race. Race to not get blown up and blow up.
Yeah.
Because they're found. They're found out.
Solo's gonna leave. Solo says, "May the Force be with you," which I thought was fun.
Yes, and now he believes. He's seen it. He believes in.
Yeah, but he still doesn't want to be a part of it.
No,
He's like, I'm out.
He wants his payment.
What good is reward if
Chewie
not got a life?
But Chewie kind of
use it
in his own little way. And just goes, "You sure?"
Yeah. He's like,
no,
"Shut up."
I know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Nice.
Biggs ? Rebel pilot. They're friends.
So
now?
yes,
Bush pilot. They knew each other. Were they friends from the good old farmer days? It's so confusing.
They get debriefed on the plans.
But he's sitting there next to him, and then all of a sudden, in the wings, he's like, "Biggs!"
Oh, is he?
Yeah, he's sitting next to him.
Oh, I didn't notice that. Oh wow, I didn't notice that. But yes, so that's a deleted scene, which you could find on like YouTube. Biggs is from Tatooine, a local friend of Luke, and the whole scene is like, hey, I'm getting called up to be a pilot for
the Rebel.
Yeah, for the
Republic,
whatever. And
they're called the Republic.
Well, they were, but now they're just rebels. And Luke's like, oh man, I'm so jealous. Blah 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 blah. Probably never gonna see you again. And sure enough, on Yavin, who's yelling his name?
Yeah, but like in the movie, you're like, who the f is Biggs?
Mm-hmm. Biggs has a Smalls role.
He dies. He doesn't have He does not have the smallest role. We find out Porkins has the smallest role, but we'll get to that.
Porkins was big though.
Obi-Wan talks to Luke again. We find out that Luke is part of the Red crew.
Red team, gold team.
Yeah, he's Red 5.
Gold. So Red team were in the X-wing fighters. The gold team were in the Y-wing fighters.
Okay, I didn't notice that difference. I just drew these ships right here.
Yeah,
it's a very terrible drawing.
You can't see it, but it's
very terrible. Maybe if we get enough people to request, I will post this to our social media. It's really bad, considering I have an art degree. But there are 30 Rebel ships. Enter Porkins, who I was supposed to define.
I gave that was a term. We never said these needed to be important terms or people or places.
I defined it as a tiny little furry penguin creature with big eyes. Nope, just a rebel fighter guy who dies immediately.
A big man of a pilot who doesn't got it. He doesn't got it.
No, boy,
when he gets
got it. Doesn't got it.
So yeah, that was funny. Anyone who knows Porkins, he's kind of like a little cult classic character.
Which is hilarious because he's literally on the screen for 2 seconds.
That's all it takes in this galaxy.
Vader is flying? Pilot, but we now know that that's an allude. It alludes to the fact that he's Luke's father. Now I know that
She
again.
knew that, which sucks because this is the big twist.
Yeah. But that does allude to, in knowing Luke, I am your father, which somebody told me yesterday. That's not actually the line.
No. That's been lost in translation.
Okay. But it goes back to Obi-Wan talking about him being the best star pilot in the galaxy.
Yeah.
So he's a pilot. All right.
Showing off his skills.
Vader's his dad. He's going to kill him.
And he only takes 2 fighters with him.
To cover.
Not a whole
to cut a fleet.
battalion, yeah.
To cover his butt. He says the Force is strong with this one about Luke.
Yeah, Luke.
Yeah, your son.
Wedge. The other pilot. It's Biggs, Wedge, and Luke are the last 3. Last 3 X-Fighters.
Mm-hmm.
Gold team sucks. They failed. They're all gone. Red leader crashes. And then now it's just Biggs, Wedge, and Luke. Wedge gets shot off course.
Yes.
He can't help. He's gone.
Yep.
And Biggs was gone before that.
Yep.
Now it's up all on Luke.
All on Luke.
And he's getting
Who's
chased.
a pilot? Question
Getting
mark?
chased. Yes, he's Biggs in that quick scene tells the red leader, "Oh, he's the best pilot." Like on the surface of Tatooine.
Yeah. That's what they've been doing, even though we don't get to see that. They blow up the Death Star in the first movie. Bye-bye. Bye-bye what you assume is all of the
Every
Empire.
villain ever.
Yeah. But nope.
Freddy Krueger was
It's
on that.
gone. Yeah, Jason. Voldemort was on there. You know who else was on there?
So I don't have to read the rest of the book? Yes! Star Wars wins because Luke killed Voldemort. Let's do it.
Gandalf was on there too. And then they go to wherever, I assume back to the moon.
Whoa. What? I just want to ask you a question. No issues with just be a good shot and don't even use the scope, use the force. You don't, like, no issues with how.
I do have an issue. I
easy
told you he didn't learn shit, and now they're like, just use your force.
But
does that mean?
But more specifically, how the Death Star blew up.
Yeah, I mean, it had a ginormous weak spot. That's kind of annoying. It's like, sure, let's build this entire thing that can blow up.
It's long been a criticism.
Like planets, but let's create this entire shaft down the center that if you just drop a bomb, it'll explode the whole thing.
Takes a perfect shot.
It was a perfect shot.
From the perfect person.
Yeah, because he is the one. It's his fate. He's the chosen one.
He's the boy who lived better than the other one.
Exactly. Okay. Wow. He wasn't.
That's
killed.
That's another debate that we'll get into, which
Okay.
I think I'm in the minority. Who is the chosen one? That's all I'll say.
All right. Here we go.
No. It's just open for discussion.
Well, pin. Luke's jacket is hot. I've never seen this scene where she gives him the medals. First of all, her hair is way better in this scene. Second of all, because she looks beautiful.
But
R.I.P. man.
quick little is R2 gonna make it? Because Vader hit him with a shot.
No, he's good.
Ship.
Ready? Luke's jacket, hot, yellow leather. They're in a reward ceremony. Leader of the rebels is Leia. Award them medals. Wink. I like that Solo winked at her.
Yeah.
That was hot too. He's still hot.
Yeah.
Even though,
You want to go back to the 70s and
I do. I want to
get some Solo D?
fuck Han Solo. He's hot. But I also kind of want to fuck Luke in his jacket because he's really hot
Jesus
too.
Christ. I didn't know we were going to go here.
R2D2 is back. He's all fixed.
Yeah.
We see it.
The best character.
Clappy, clappy, end.
Wait, though. No.
That's the,
Who didn't get a medal? Don't answer it because you didn't know before.
I didn't know before.
Again, the lost episode. No fucking love for Chewie.
Yeah. But she also was calling him a furry rug, and I don't know if there's biases there.
Is Leia just being a B?
Is there biases?
I don't know.
You don't know about
Well,
internal
not
bias.
serving,
Maybe there's creaturism.
not serving
across
droids.
the creatures.
Not awarding a medal
We don't know.
to Chewie. What the
We don't
fuck's up
know.
with that?
We don't know. All right. Rating, likes, dislikes. Here we go.
Okay, so now here's the part where we rate what we just consumed, read, watched, whatever.
Yep.
Listen, we have no standard, maybe we should, but we have no standard, no real rating system. I just put myself as an 8-year-old kid. Did I enjoy? Did I like Harry Potter? Would I give it a 4.5 out of 5?
Yeah.
I think I would have enjoyed that as an 8-year-old.
Mhm.
And whatever.
We'll take things into account.
Yeah. So Alicia told me before we started recording that she's gonna try and put herself in the 70s, right?
Yeah.
So here's her.
In the way of like effects and all that stuff. I gave it a 3 out of 5. I was entertained. I didn't ever feel like, ugh, I'm bored. I followed the story. It kept me on the edge of my seat. I was
Were
invested in the characters.
Yeah, I was just gonna ask you. Were you rooting for characters?
I was.
Not to fuck them. Were you
No,
rooting?
no, no. I was rooting for them. I really was. I wanted them. I'm curious. I want to know what comes next.
That's good. That's
But three
a great
3
compliment.
out of 5 overall. I think that because there's a couple. Okay, so let's get into my likes and dislikes because I think my dislikes will explain that. I love the world. I love the world design, the set design. This, like I told you, I'm obsessed with Tatooine. I really love the underground house that the uncle and Luke lives in. I want to stay in there like an Airbnb. I think it's really cool.
I'm sure it's some.
I love the uniforms for the rebels. I think that that's really iconic. I know that that comes back in later shows. We've seen that. I like that Solo is a dick. It makes sense. He's a smuggler. I called him a space pirate.
Sorry to interrupt, but because you said he's a dick, did you like the scene? Does this register with you where Luke blows up a TIE fighter in the gunship?
And he goes, "Don't
get cocky.
Yeah, 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 yeah."
But later,
Also, when Luke is like, "Oh, what do you think of Leia?" And he's like, "I'm trying not to think about her." And he's like, "Good." And he's like, "Oh yeah,
Han's like,
challenge
"Oh,
accepted,
yeah.
motherfucker."
Good scene.
Like,
Good
let's see.
nonverbal.
Let's see who gets to her first. I love that Leia's a badass.
Yes.
Really awesome.
Star Wars is amazing with strong female characters
Fabulous,
and leads.
especially in the 70s. That's amazing.
No, Lucas was ahead of the times with that.
And the garbage scene is by far my favorite in the entire movie. I love it. It's comedy. It's
really just Han grabbing her waist and trying to throw her up there.
No, I was on the end of my seat. I was like, "Oh, crap!" Because the trash compactor sounds like hell to me.
What if they all died and it's like, oh, it's just R2?
And I wouldn't have to watch any more movies.
That's not true.
Dislikes. I did not like the long flying sequence. Like, okay, we get it. They're killing rebels.
That hurts me.
It's the same hallway over and over again.
But
it's like, ugh.
They're doing waves. They're doing runs.
Oh, there's another guy that we don't care about. That's
such
dead,
a long,
dead,
in my
dead.
point of view, realistic take on what that would be. Like, with the numbers of, like, I loved it.
Yeah.
Give me space battles. Give me lightsaber duels. Love it.
Realistic. I mean, 1917, the movie, you don't get the entire World War in it, and you're still getting what?
No, I'm just saying it would take time. It would take runs. It would be drawn out.
Rolling my eyes here.
Oh, geez, a great scene.
Bad maps. If they upgraded the CGI, why not upgrade their maps? Like the map of
the looks, not the technology. Well, it goes hand in hand. But
the map of the Death Star when they're training them, it's on a screen. Just change the screen out. Give me something. Really bad. It's really bad.
So what I'll say to that and to the whole world, the whole Star Wars world you're about to see in the galaxy. This is actually, my brother said this a long time ago to someone. You got to realize this galaxy, most of it has just come out of years and years of war.
Mm-hmm.
The Empire just took over.
Mm-hmm.
And everyone's just kind of like figuring out what the fuck to do. No one's working on
They have droids that can speak to you, and they can't figure out a fucking map?
Just
come
keep
on.
that in. They figured out the map fine. You just don't know, like, you don't like how it looks.
It's literally white lines. It's the worst.
Let's just say scientists were a little busy doing other stuff and dying.
What was that
in
game?
a war.
Pong? It looked like Pong on Atari.
So the 70s, and maybe that was
Pong on
maybe
Atari.
that was done on purpose to look familiar
Whatever.
to fans.
I didn't like I thought the fighting was ghetto. Vader versus Obi-Wan. The swordsmith skills were pretty bad.
And a criticism, but you know,
They're like
Lucas isn't an action guy. But
oh, question for you: is that James Earl Jones under the cloak?
no, just voice.
Why? He wasn't all that old.
No, but maybe he was a bigger guy. I don't know. No, he
That's
never
so
physically
weird.
in the suit.
Okay.
I think there have been, if you include the not 9, but if you include all films, I think there have been like 5 guys in the suit.
Okay.
4 or 5 guys in the suit. I don't know. I forgot the names. But
there's also guys in R2D2.
One guy, yeah.
Yeah. Was he him for the whole series?
Yeah. Well, the originals, yeah. But I do want to say back to the lightsaber duel. There's a company, I don't know the name. It's the reimagined duel, what it would be like in with today's technology, acting, fighting skills. It's on YouTube. If you don't know what I'm talking about, it's fucking amazing.
Is there another actor who plays Obi-Wan?
It's all CGI.
Oh, okay.
And it's so
like animation CGI or like they actually took. Oh, cool.
They took their time. It's fucking awesome. We'll watch this after.
Yeah.
I want you to see that.
I'd like to see that.
But yeah, that's been a
justice.
criticism. It's like, all right, Vader, you're a Jedi Knight. Obi-Wan, like Obi-Wan's older, whatever.
Yeah, like how are you
But-
guys the
but-
craziest fighters?
What's under that suit in Vader?
An
Yeah.
injured guy.
Is it? Yeah. So I'm just pointing that out.
Yeah.
Just to
Well, he's got
play devil's
emphysema,
advocate.
so you can't really fight all that well if you've got asthma and emphysema. Predictions for episode 5. The title is Empire Strikes Back, so
That's
not a whole lot of
might-
guessing
might
to
be a giveaway.
done. They're obviously pissed off, and obviously with that title, that's not the end of them. Vader, I assume now will be the leader of the pack, but there could be bigger people other than the people that were on the Death Star, because that guy seemed like a general. He didn't seem like a president kind of figure. That guy, Moff.
Tarkin.
I think that we're gonna get all of our favorite characters back. Solo's gonna be involved reluctantly, but involved. Luke is gonna be continuing to fight. I think he's gonna hone in on his skills, his Jedi skills with the Force. I think that while obviously get Leia, we'll get C-3PO and R2-D2. Obi-Wan question mark in Luke's head.
You're hoping to get Leia.
Nice.
Leia?
Is this the one where Leia is in the gold bikini? I know that Jabba has her as a prisoner.
You've met Jabba and you know about the gold bikini.
Yes, so maybe that's
Keep
how they
bringing
get.
that up. You have a
Maybe
little,
that's how they get
you have
Solo
a crush.
back
You
in.
have a crush on Leia.
Maybe-
Don't judge Luke if you also have a crush on Leia.
I never said she wasn't hot, but I'm not her fucking brother.
Yet.
Okay, and then I also is this the one where Han Solo
answering you.
is encapsulated in cement?
Okay,
Maybe that's the
cement
cliff-
would clearly kill someone.
Maybe that's the cliffhanger at the end.
Okay, interesting.
Maybe that's like, oh no, we're losing, end scene. And then when the flying credits roll in the third movie, it's like where we last left Solo. He was covered in a cement mixer, and
flying.
the rebels were losing traction against the Empire. And then it's cold open into a big old battle.
But you're talking about the third movie.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm just whatever.
You got a lot of good shit to watch before you get
I
there.
know. I'm excited.
I will say this. Was debating on whether or not to tell you this, but if you polled like 100 people, 100 real Star Wars fans, and you asked them the original trilogy, which is your favorite movie, I really don't think many would say A New Hope.
Ah,
So like
it
The-
pulled you in.
the world's, and also I know Lucas had the 9 scripts,
Yeah,
and if that bombed,
you're right.
there's no Empire.
Yeah.
Back. But it just gets, in my opinion, gets bigger
Yeah, of course
better.
it does.
and
The first Harry Potter book is very dry.
okay, yeah.
It was also written.
Now
by
you
me.
know,
It's very dry because you
Yeah.
have to introduce things.
yeah, you know the main character.
You also have to set up big plot. You also have to set up big backgrounds and settings and all kinds of things. You need to set things up because otherwise people won't understand. Anyway,
You need to make.
what's coming next?
I am reading Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets.
Yeah. Well, yeah, Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets. Yep.
If you listened to last episode, I made my predictions.
Mm-hmm.
Probably piss poor, probably
Oh,
super vague, but I made predictions for it
vague.
coming up. So give a listen if you haven't already.
Just for your information, we actually counted. Last episode, he had written down 80 character names from the first book
And I
while he read
like
it, and stopped.
like 70% in, I stopped.
That's so wild.
I was-
I wouldn't have even guessed that many characters were introduced in the first book.
Well, the thing is, after a while, if Hermie wasn't mentioning him or her in one of his history books,
Hermione,
whatever,
Hogwarts, a
Heine.
history.
my Heine. If it was just like a quick mention, I ultimately stopped adding
Yeah.
character.
Because even during the sorting ceremony, they're literally naming every kid and every.
I wrote, so
Yeah.
I counted 80. I probably could have got to 90, maybe more.
Okay.
But that's what I did. My first
Yeah,
page
that's
of notes,
crazy.
first page of notes, just characters,
Yeah.
and then the rest of my notes were done by chapter.
So you're reading Chamber of Secrets. So we have a dry quiz of terms specifically picked from Chamber of Secrets. I have 2, and our friend Brenna gave us 3 more that were fantastic.
Hit me.
So we're going to start with parcel tongue.
Parcel tongue.
Parcel tongue.
Spelt.
P-A-R-S-E-L.
Spelt.
Not
S-E-L, not like a male character.
Yes.
Or whatever. Parcel tongue. I forgot what I said in the first.
The lost
The lost
episode, you
episode.
did say something along the lines of a spell.
Oh, a spell where you can't speak,
Yeah.
but it seems too simple. Did I stick with that prediction?
Yep.
Jesus. I don't even smoke weed or anything. I'm just myself.
No judgment.
Yeah, no judgment. But yeah, so I think it's a spell, parcel tongue. You can't speak, or maybe you say things backwards. Something.
Oh,
something
okay.
maybe like
so like dyslexia. You
like
give people
goofy,
like,
something goofy.
Okay.
Not to. If you're dyslexic, I'm sorry.
no.
It's a book.
Got it. Backwards.
Okay.
All right, backwards speak. Okay. The next word is scabbers.
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 Non-union Hogwarts idiot scabs. No,
Nope.
I'm gonna guess like a leech-like creature,
Mm.
maybe brought upon by a spell. I just did a wand thing with my hand.
I can see the
Did not feel
swish
natural.
and flick.
Did not
Yeah.
feel natural.
Not a swish and flick.
Whatever. So yeah, I think they're a little blood-sucking leech kind of thing that leaves scabs. It's
Okay.
kind of like a thing like a dark magic guy would.
Okay.
use.
They would throw scabbers at you, and you would.
They
bleed
land on you and you
scab.
kind of freak out.
Got it. And our next three terms are for Brenna, so let's start us off with term 3.
My term for Greg is flu powder.
Flu powder.
FLOO.
All right, that helps. Flu powder.
Flu powder.
I don't know. I'm gonna say maybe like a powder that makes the cloak visible. Sprinkle it on a little cloaky cloak, and oh shit, there's a little kid under there. I'm way off. By judging by your reaction, I'm way off. Maybe it's just something to cook with.
Great.
I don't know. I can't go with two predictions, so I'll stick with the cloak.
Okay.
The
Cloak powder.
You said great, so it's clearly food, but maybe not. All
Flu
right.
powder. All right. Term 4.
My term for Greg is apparate.
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 APPARATE. Apparate.
So the nurse has to take in an injured person, and they apparate on that motherfucker.
Why?
No?
Sweater weather. Apparate.
I think I guessed that it was something that maybe held brooms together where they could fly.
Yes. Fly together.
Fly together.
That
as
is what you said.
One
As
terrible
one.
guess. I don't remember if I changed that.
Nope.
They got to
Apparate.
go on an.
We're
They
gonna
gotta operate as one.
apparate.
Whatever.
Apparate as one.
I have
okay,
no idea
so
what that's gonna-
brooms fly together.
It's probably
Ducks fly
yeah,
together.
I don't know what that.
Got it. Okay.
Last one.
And the last one from Chamber of Secrets.
My term for Greg is howler.
Howler. HOWLER. Howler.
And this one might be on the nose here, like the term, not my guess. Maybe an admirer of the werewolves that were mentioned in book
Okay.
1, or
Okay.
a
So
young
like a believer for Bieber.
Justin Bieber comes in and he's like, "How y'all doing?" And like, "Oh, we're howlers."
Of people that are interested or
Either interested-
aficionados.
In werewolves, or maybe they know they're a werewolf
Okay.
through lineage, but
Okay.
they can't turn yet.
Oh, okay.
Or it's just like a wicked howler shot in Quidditch. It was a fucking howler by Weasley.
Fun of Quidditch. Here we are again.
What a howling shot.
I don't know what that accent is.
I don't know either, but let's be honest. Flying X-Wings is way cooler than fucking
No.
Quidditch. Miss me with that.
No.
Just-
You don't get to say that.
I just did.
Quidditch gets to take people places.
We get to win a cup. Motherfuckers got gold medals.
you
In
understand.
A New Hope.
You'll
Except
find
Chewie.
out. No,
Except Chewie.
you are going to find out about where Quidditch takes you.
It takes you on a broom and then you got
Unlike
knocked off.
D1 lacrosse that takes you nowhere.
Totally
Where you
true.
going? Nowhere.
Phenomenal jobs in New York City.
Mhm.
But, through connections. But nah, howler. I
Okay.
I
Something having
just
to
gave
do
you two
with-
guesses.
Got it. Something having to do with werewolves.
Or a wicked howler.
Okay, all right.
Weasley, 20 points for Gryffindor.
Until next time, when we gather to hear your feedback on Chamber of Secrets.
I really hope it's
we
like dirty, like
are-
Harry's like into porn
We're
and shit.
out. Ew.
Chamber of
This was written for
I'm
10-year-olds.
Oh yeah, I forgot. Sorry. All right. Until next time, may the
Mhm.
force.
All was well.
What?
All was well.
I don't know what that means.